All right, so we've got a stack of Intuit's 10K reports here. We're talking 19, 21, 22, and 23. Gives us a good look under the hood. And, everyone thinks TurboTax, once a year, done. But this deep dive, we're going way beyond that. This is about how Intuit, the whole company, is becoming something much bigger.
Yeah, it's pretty striking when you see it laid out in the reports. They're shifting from just selling tax software to wanting to be the only financial platform you need.
It's ambitious. They're talking about being your one-stop shop for everything, from paying taxes to managing investments. And get this, they're betting big on AI to make it happen.
AI-driven expert platform, that's what they're calling it. And their 2022 report, they actually get into the nitty-gritty. Like, imagine your small business needs more customers. Intuit's vision is their AI could analyze the market, figure out exactly who to target. No more guesswork, no more expensive consultants.
Wow. That levels the playing field for the average person, right? It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket. But they're not trying to put accountants out of business, are they?
Not at all. Actually, the reports emphasize how crucial accountants still are. But Intuit wants to give them better tools,
So instead of spending hours on calculations, they're using AI to get instant insights, freeing them up for strategy.
Precisely. Which means better service, especially for small businesses. They need every advantage they can get. But, and this is a big one, relying on technology, on partners, it comes with risks. The 2023 report, they don't shy away from that. Data security across their entire network, it's a massive undertaking, especially with something as sensitive as financial info.
Like you can build the strongest fortress.
Right.
Right. But if one little gate is left open.
Exactly. And Intuit's upfront about the constant battle against cyber attacks. Investing in serious security tech, they have to, especially as they handle more and more of our personal data.
And it's interesting because you look at the 2019 report, so much emphasis is on their security measures, barely a peep about educating users on best practices,
It's like locking your front door but leaving the key under the mat. If they want a truly secure system, they've got to empower users to be proactive about security too.
Right. Okay, so we've got AI ambitions, we've got partners, and we've got this ever-present cyber threat. But let's talk business model for a second, because this is where things get really interesting. Subscriptions, they're everywhere, right? And Intuit is jumping on that train too.
Makes sense when you think about it. The 2021 filing, they talk about how subscriptions mean predictable revenue. Instead of hoping people buy new software every year, they've got this steady income stream, and Wall Street loves that.
Right, it's like the difference between owning and renting. Intuit has more control, can plan for the future. But I'm guessing it wasn't a seamless transition for everyone.
Oh, there was definitely some pushback. The 2022 report mentions users who weren't thrilled about the change. But Intuit seems convinced that this is the way forward, not just for their bottom line, but for building stronger relationships with customers.
And speaking of relationships, can't ignore the elephant in the room, right? Intuit's reliance on all these third-party partners. This web just keeps getting more tangled.
And it cuts both ways, right? I mean, they need these partners to expand what they can offer, reach new markets, but it also makes them vulnerable. Their reports, they're very open about that.
What happens if a key partner falters? It's all connected. And it's not just about the money either. Think about data privacy. Intuit's reputation is on the line with every partner they work with.
Absolutely. And that thread runs through all these reports. Intuit is putting themselves out there as the hub for your financial life. But for that to work, they've got to maintain trust. Across their entire network, every service, every partner, that's a tall order.
And it's more than just keeping it safe, right? It's how they use it. Because we're talking about a gold mine of financial info. These reports, they give us a peek into how Intuit's thinking about making money from that data, especially when you bring Credit Karma into the picture.
Oh, absolutely. The 2023 report, it's clear they see Credit Karma as a way to generate revenue beyond just credit scores. Think personalized financial products.
Okay, so like targeted ads.
Next level. Intuit's AI, it could analyze your spending, then recommend credit cards, loans, things that actually fit what you need.
So less about scrolling through endless options, more like a concierge service for your finances. But is that helpful, or is it getting a little too Big Brother-ish?
Yeah, they're definitely aware of that line. Their 2022 report, they actually talk about potential user pushback if they get too aggressive with this stuff. Transparency, user control over data, that's what they're emphasizing.
Finding that sweet spot.
Yeah.
Right? Where it feels like you're getting something valuable in exchange for sharing your info, not just being mined for profit.
Exactly. But it's not just about the individual user either. Intuit's got global ambitions. Their 2022 report, they lay out their plans to expand into some big markets, India, Canada, places like that.
That's a whole other ball game, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every country's got different rules, different financial systems. Can't just translate TurboTax and call it a day.
Nope. And they know that. Their 2019 filing, they talk about the complexity of going international. They're being cautious, tailoring their approach to each market, working with local experts.
It's more than just language, too. It's understanding how money works in different cultures. But if they pull it off, the growth potential is huge.
High risk, high reward.
Yeah.
That seems to be how Intuit rolls. And it's not just about conquering new markets. These reports, they also reveal a company that's putting a lot of emphasis on corporate social responsibility.
Yeah, and it's not just empty words. The 2023 report, it highlights their investments in supporting small businesses, financial literacy programs, tackling social inequalities. They're putting their money where their mouth is.
And what's cool is they're not just writing checks. They're using their tech, their expertise in finance to make a difference. Like developing tools to help underserved communities access capital, build credit.
Empowering people. The financial system is kind of left behind, which, yeah, it's good business, but it's bigger than that. It's about building a more equitable world.
And speaking of good business, can't ignore the bottom line, right? That 2021 report, pretty rosy picture of their financial performance.
Definitely. That Credit Karma acquisition, it was a game changer. Expanded their user base like crazy, opened up all these new revenue streams. The 2021 report, revenue's way up, and it feels like they're just getting started.
It's like they've got this whole new toolbox now, right? And they're figuring out what they can build with it. But, like we've been saying, they've got to be careful not to alienate users in the process. Balance, balance, balance. For sure, profits versus trust. It's a tightrope walk. But honestly, so far, they seem to be managing it pretty well.
Okay, so we've covered a lot here. AI, global expansion, corporate social responsibility. But one theme that keeps popping up in these reports, it's Intuit's focus on people. And not just their customers, their employees too.
Absolutely. They make it very clear. Creating a positive, inclusive workplace, that's a priority. The 2023 report, it talks about their commitment to diversity, setting specific goals for representation at every level.
And this isn't just about ticking boxes. They're investing in programs to support underrepresented groups, creating a culture where everyone feels valued.
And work-life balance. They walk the walk. Flexible schedules, great parental leave, even on-site childcare in some places. These aren't just perks. They're recognizing that people have lives outside of work.
Smart move. Yeah. Especially these days. People want to work for companies that share their values. And it's paying off, too. The 2022 report, it mentions a big drop in employee turnover. That says something.
Totally. Happy employees, happy customers. Intuit gets it. And happy customers, well, that's good business.
Speaking of which, these reports, they're full of how obsessed Intuit is with customer satisfaction. It's not just transactions, it's building relationships. It's nice to see a company actually walking the walk, not just talking about customer service, but really making it a priority. And the reports, they talk about this proactive approach, even anticipating problems before they happen.
It all comes back to trust, doesn't it? And the way they handle data privacy, that's huge. The 2023 report, they're very clear about being transparent, giving users real control over their information, which is tricky, right? Because they need to use that data to make their services better, but nobody wants to feel like a product.
It's a tough balance, especially now with everyone worried about data breaches and privacy.
Yeah.
But Intuit seems to understand that if they want to be the center of our financial lives, they've got to earn that trust.
And they're not just saying it. They're putting serious money into security tech, educating their employees, educating users. They're covering all the bases.
Building that fortress, like you were saying, but also making sure everyone inside knows how to keep the gates locked.
Yeah.
And it's working. That same report, they actually saw a drop in security incidents, which in this day and age, that's pretty impressive.
Definitely. Shows they're taking it seriously. But they're not stopping there. The reports even mention they're looking into things like blockchain, really cutting-edge stuff to make things even more secure and transparent.
So they're building the future of finance, but they're also trying to build it right.
Ambitious, yeah.
Yeah.
But if there's one thing we've learned about Intuit from all these reports, it's that they don't think small.
That's a good way to put it. They're always evolving, always pushing the limits. It's pretty remarkable when you see it laid out like this. From a simple tax software company to this global tech leader, they adapt, they innovate, and they never lose sight of the goal, giving people the tools to manage their financial lives. And that, my friend, is a wrap on our Intuit Deep Dive. We've gone from TurboTax to AI, talked global domination, and even gotten a little philosophical about corporate responsibility. Hopefully you're leaving with a better understanding of this company and maybe even some things to ponder about the future of finance. Thanks for joining us.